the end to all the lies from Monrovia. There are people coming from Monrovia telling us all kind of lies that there is no development going on in Monrovia, which is not true. The evidence of developments in Monrovia can be found in this video. Watch the entire video or every part of the video. The contents of this video are as follows. 1. The visit of the United States President. 2. The branches of government and national security. 3. Infrastructure development. 4. Donations from governments of China, India, and Turkey. 5. Gymnasium and sports complex. The major sports contents of this video is the highlights of Liberia versus Ghana game, where Liberia scored 2 and Ghana scored 0.
I love you, Liberia. Je t'aime, Liberia.
President Bush, Mrs. Bush, members of the United States delegation, Mr. Vice President, officials of government, honorable members of the National Legislature, fellow Liberians, friends of Liberia. Please let me ask you to rise and raise your glasses. Join me in drinking lustily to the health, prosperity of the President, government, and people of the United States, and to the great friendship that Liberia enjoys with our number one partner.
Oops. Madam President, I want to make sure I got the following correctly. Here they call you the Iron Lady. And here they call you Ma. And I call you friend. We are honored to be here. Laura and I are thrilled to be here with our delegation to end what has been a very productive trip to the continent of Africa. I can't think of a better place to finish than with our dear friend Liberia. It is easy to destroy a country. It is hard to rebuild a country. And I must Madam President, I want you to know that the United States of America supports you as you rebuild your country. We share a special history with Liberia. It's a history that is deep. And I want the people of your beautiful country to know that our help is just beginning. And so, Madam President, I propose a toast to you and the strength of your leadership and the quality of your character, and to the good people of Liberia. May God bless.
You know that old saying that behind every great man is a great woman? Well, who is behind this great woman? More great women. Stay tuned. Independent Lens is next. Welcome to Independent Lens. I'm Terrence Howard, your host. Now, in 2006, she became the first woman ever elected president of an African nation. Now, for a moment, the people of Liberia forgot their troubles, the unemployment, the corruption, crippling debt, the aftermath of a 14-year civil war. They hoped that she would fix everything. They never imagined that she would tell them the truth.
Are we ready? Ready or not, we've got to get on the path. With all the problems and all the scares, I remain optimistic that that Liberia will rise again.
Independent filmmakers Daniel Nyangi and Seata Scott Johnson find a hint of hope as they follow the Liberian president through her first year in office. She's inspiring generations of women to take charge of their future and the future of Africa. Iron Ladies of Liberia. Next.
The 1st Infantry Battalion is First Lieutenant Emmanuel D. Wisse. Commanding Bravo Company, 1st Infantry Battalion is Second Lieutenant Aloysius T. Quay. Commanding the 1st female platoon, First Lieutenant Esther Famata Kukama. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the passing of the national colors.
Liberia has sent 50 troops to Mali to join the UN peacekeeping mission established there to support the government of Mali against Islamic rebels in the north of the country. The contribution of troops by Liberia is a first for the country since the end of the 14-year civil war that ended a decade ago. Addressing the troops, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf recounted the Liberia's civil conflict and how other countries sacrificed to save Liberia. She noted that it is now time for Liberia to reciprocate.
For so long, decades in fact, we have been the beneficiary of support from our ECOWAS neighbors and friends from far and wide who came to our shores to help us restore the peace and rebuild a shattered nation. It is time for Liberia to give back in whatever small way that we can. That you are the chosen ones to represent our nation and people as we contribute to ensuring the restoration of peace and a return to democratic rule in Mali are the reasons for our pride and our celebration today. This is a proud day for all of us as Liberians, and truly, you are the pride of our nation.
After undergoing intense training, about 50 men were selected to make up the infantry platoon. Their families accompanied them to Roberts Field International Airport to bid them farewell. On July 1, the 12,000-strong UN peacekeeping force, known as MINUSMA, will replace the 6,000-member African regional mission currently deployed in Mali. The mission will be tasked with supporting the political process in Mali in implementing the transitional roadmap towards the full restoration of constitutional order, democratic governance, and national unity. The deployment of peacekeepers is only the second in Liberia's history after it sent peacekeepers to the Democratic Republic of Congo in the 1960s.
I remain optimistic that that Liberia will rise again.
Liberia will rise again. You gotta believe. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, Liberia we rise again.
United we stand, divided we fall. And we don't want to fall no more. United we stand, divided we fall. And we don't want to fall no more, mama. Let's come together and unite. gonna survive. We are just the same. One life, one blood. Sometimes it gets so hard for you. You even want to kill yourself. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. As long as there is life, there's got to be hope. Whoa, whoa. Keep on trying. One day, keep on trying. It's gonna be better. Keep on trying. Keep on trying. If you've been suffering for so long and there's nowhere to turn, just take it to the Lord in prayer. He will be on your side, and you're never, never gonna fall. You've been hurt so many times. You've been let down by all your friends. Don't lose your mind. Keep trying so hard. Some pretend they love you when you have, but when you're down they laugh at you. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. As long as there is life, there's got to be hope. Whoa, whoa. Keep on trying, forever and ever. Keep on trying. Don't give up. Keep on trying. Survival. Whoa, whoa. Keep on trying. No matter how hard it may be. Keep on trying. There's no easy way. Keep on trying. mon argent. L'argent est fini, l'amour est terminé. L'argent est fini, l'amour est achevé. Pourtant c'est faux, tu ne m'aimais qu'à cause de mon argent. L'argent est fini, l'amour est terminé. L'argent est fini, l'amour est achevé. Oh, tu m'as trompé, chérie, tu m'as blagué, tu m'as trahi, tu m'as déçu. Tu ne m'aimais qu'à cause de ma voiture. Tu ne m'aimais qu'à cause de ma maison. Tu ne m'aimais qu'à cause de mon travail. L'argent est fini, travailler sans payer. Travailler de ma maison, me voilà dans les rues. Travailler de ma maison, me voilà dans les rues. Mais pourtant c'est faux. Tu ne m'aimais qu'à cause de mon argent. L'argent est fini, l'amour est terminé. L'argent est fini, l'amour est achevé. Chez mon tailleur, tous les soirs, je vais chez mes parents. C'est pour me tromper, elle va chez son amant. Voyez ça. Moi le salon, je croyais que tu m'aimais. Moi l'ignorant, je croyais que tu m'aimais. Tu m'as roulé, tu m'as trompé, tu m'as déçu, tu m'as roulé. Ah oui, je savais qu'elle allait me tromper. C'est méchant, c'est méchant. Tu m'aimais, pourtant c'est faux. Tu ne m'aimais qu'à cause de mon argent. L'argent est fini, l'amour est terminé. L'argent est fini, l'amour est achevé. Tu m'as trompé, chérie, tu m'as blagué, mamie, tu m'as trahi, oh, tu m'as déçu. C'est le Saint-Vista international.
piano. Bougez, 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 bougez. Ça y est. Ambiance. Elles sont terribles ces femmes. C'est pas possible. La confiance elle est terminée. La confiance est terminée. Ah bon? N'ayez pas peur. Remontez, 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 remontez. Ah. Si je savais. Mouvement. Oui, chérie, je voudrais de l'argent pour m'acheter une robe que j'ai vue au marché. Bon, voilà, je te donne l'argent. Mais tâche de m'acheter moi une très belle robe. C'est clair? Oui, chérie. Mais, chouchou, quel est ce boubou? Ce n'est pas un boubou, c'est un maxi. Quoi? Un taxi? Mais non, chérie, un maxi. Et que veut dire maxi? Maxi veut dire que tu feras le maximum, mais c'est moi qui commande. Ah bon? C'est toi qui commande? Ah oui, hein, ah bon, on verra. Mais chérie, pourquoi portes-tu mes chaussures? Ce ne sont pas des chaussures. Je vais les acheter au marché. Mais depuis quand les hommes portent des hauts talons? Ce ne sont pas des hauts talons, mais ça s'appelle pouce derrière. Ah bon? Mais quand tu feras le maximum pour commander, mon pouce derrière te poussera au dehors. C'est clair? C'est clair, non? D'accord, on verra celui qui commande. Ah, on y va. croyais que tu m'aimais, tu me trompais, tu as beaucoup de maîtresses. Tu as acheté une voiture pour ta maîtresse, tu as loué une villa pour ta maîtresse. Moi ta femme, tu m'as rien donné. Oh, tu m'as déçu, chérie, tu m'as trompé. Mamie, tu m'as trahi. Mon mari, quand tu ne travaillais pas, tu disais que tu m'aimais. Après ça, que tu travailles, tu as beaucoup de maîtresses. Terrible. Déjà que tu travailles, tu as beaucoup de maîtresses.
Ils sont bizarres ces garçons-là.
Tous les samedis, je vais au village. Dimanche matin, tu viens en riant, en me disant bonjour chérie Coco. Mon père te salue, ma mère te salue. Je sais que tu mens, tu as dormi dans un hôtel. Tu m'as trompé, tu as dormi chez ta maîtresse.
Terrible, 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 terrible. Ah, voyez-moi ça les amis.
Oh mon mari, je croyais que tu m'aimais. Tu me trompais, tu as beaucoup de maîtresses. Tu as acheté une voiture pour ta maîtresse. Tu as loué une villa pour ta maîtresse. Moi ta femme, tu ne m'as rien donné. Moi ta femme, tu ne m'as rien donné. On y va. Ah ouais.
Balancez, balancez, balancez.
Ah oui.
C'est bizarre tout de même ces garçons.
Alors qu'ils dorment dans un hôtel. Vous voyez ça? Ils sont pas sérieux, les garçons. Entendons-nous bien, chérie. Entendons-nous bien.
Attention, 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 attention. Le Sambistar international arrive. Arrive le rose. Bougez les hanches.
Usher traders and workers. Long live trucker traders and workers. Long live trust traders and workers. The Kenga superstar say hello to you all. Opportunity to greet the brothers and sisters of Africa. A-F-R-I-C-A Africa.
As of January 3rd, 2015, the total number of Ebola cases in Liberia. Ebola exposed major weaknesses in Liberia's healthcare system, but it also helped Liberia and West Africa raise the consciousness of the world for assistance in building a more improved, robust strategic development agenda to lift Liberia and an inclusive economic growth. Energy, ports, to put the country on a sustained development path, targeted in its agenda for transformations in the country. In this edition of Liberia, a nation in transition, we look at what is happening in the country. Is Liberia rising? The most visible signs of transformation can be seen on Liberia's roads, which the government has been rehabilitating since 2007. In Monrovia, a major roadway, the Roberts Field Highway, from ELWA Junction to Roberts International Airport, was resurfaced. Tubman Boulevard, look of the city. The streets in central Monrovia were rehabilitated, as was the SKD Boulevard. In 2006, SKB Boulevard was a closed-off dirt road where the mangrove swamps were used as trash pits. Today, the area has been cleaned up and the road connecting Tutman Boulevard to Somalia Drive is the connector it was envisioned to be. Other roadways like Jamaica Road, GSA Road, Rehab Road, and SD Cooper Road have also undergone transformation. Nizo Road and Benson Clinic Road were widened and paved to create bypasses around the congestion in the red light area. Caldwell Road from Bushrod Island to Benthor is being upgraded to a paved roadway. Solar lights, concrete curbs, and sidewalks are being added to the Mesurado River. It was demolished and a new bridge constructed. In 2011, President SIRLEAF dedicated the new renamed King Zulu Duma Bridge, which connects the city of Monrovia to the commercial district of Bushrod Island. Pavement of the 33-kilometer Bung Mines Road linking Kakata City to Bung Mines in Lower Bung County has been completed. The road was rebuilt under a concession agreement with the China Union Company. The 25-year agreement to mine ore in Bung Mine Range included repairs to the road, which has reduced driving time between Kakata and Bung Mines from several hours to 22 minutes. The Marshall Road in Marquette County, a 22-kilometer road from the Robertsfield Highway to Marshall City, is under construction at a cost of $19.7 million. Marshall is home to the Marine Training Institute, which reopened in October 2011 after closure since 1989. Electricity is the engine that drives all modern societies. The country's energy shortfall. The Mount Coffee Hydroelectric Power Plant, the country's largest hydro dam facility. The power plant will generate an estimated 80 megawatts of power during the raining season. The government has indicated that the cost of electricity, currently at 54 cents per kilowatt hour, would be reduced by half to about 27 cents per kilowatt hour. Other energy initiatives include 3 heavy fuel oil power plants at Bushrod Island. The 3 Corridors Project, which is constructing transmission lines. It is these and other infrastructure projects in other sectors that are needed to secure Liberia's future and transform, created a permanent regulatory body, the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, to regulate and monitor the telecommunications sector. In May 2010, a special purpose vehicle, the Cable Consortium of Liberia, was formed to bring fiber optics to Liberia. A month later, Liberia joined the Africa Coast to Europe Cable Consortium. On November 3rd, 2011, at the cost of $25 million, the ACE cable, Liberia's first fiber optic cable, landed on South Beach in Monrovia, allowing the use of high-speed and secure internet service in Liberia. Today, some of the benefits of the cable to Liberians include access to ATMs, high-speed internet connectivity, e-education by online universities, and access to charity for her administration. In 2010, the government won a $4.6 billion debt relief from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank after Liberia met the requirements for achieving the final step or completion point under the Enhanced Heavily Indebted Poor Countries HIPC initiative. The Liberian economy had remained resilient, able since 2006 to withstand the challenges facing the global economy, the third highest in the ECOWAS region. Overall, the government made marked progress for small and medium-sized businesses and for mortgage lending. Initiatives such as the Village Savings Loan Project for petroleum, finance, and infrastructure development. Foreign direct investment of more than $16 billion was mobilized. Although many of these contracts are in the early stages of their investment, some of their impacts. Significant progress has also been made in strengthening relations with Liberia's key development partners, multilateral agencies, ECOWAS, and the African Union, thanks to President Sirleaf's highly respected stature at home and abroad. Won several prizes for the work she is doing in Liberia, including the Nobel Peace Prize, the Indira Gandhi Peace Prize, and the Grand Cross of the Legion of Honor in France. In September 2013, a bust of President Sirleaf was placed in the Garden of Nations at the University of Peace in Costa Rica. In October 2013, President Sirleaf received the Entrepreneur for the World 2013 Award in the Policy Maker category, presented by the World Entrepreneurship Forum. In the process of rebuilding post-conflict Liberia, President Sirleaf strengthened national security and good governance, managed the revitalization of the economy, and in so doing, restored Liberia's international reputation. As Africa's first female head of state, she is a powerful symbol of the continent's progress. Following 2 decades of deficits that are essential for Liberia's push forward, the development agenda that President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has brought to her people is undoubtedly an important aspect of the nation's recovery.
It has been a good year, but a tough year. It has been a fruitful, but a challenging first year. Today, we can walk with pride and dignity.
All of the progress that we have made can be attributed to the fact that we've got strong women leadership in the government. These are all strong women that have led the processes of change and renewal. With all the problems and all the scares, I remain optimistic that that Liberia will rise again.
Present to you those who labor here, O God, that you will guide them and keep them. We thank you for those who have the vision, O God, to build this complex.
I came home and visited, and I was thinking of something big to do. And lucky for me, I ran into these great Liberians who were always here and running that business. And I said, guys, we got to come together. My own construction business in the States, 15 years, we were successful. And so we said, it's time to come to Liberia, but we got to team up with the strong people who can deliver. And as God will have it, you all know them and their works. And so we came together and said, we will do this first estate. We committed ourselves that it will be 100% Liberian, and it is. We decided this is just a 25 acres, and we're going to do the first 80 houses here. We have to go up first for the upper end homes with people who really can afford the first homes that they need. And then we are actually right now developing 200 acres in a low-cost housing, which by the end of this year, we should be able to come forward. We're looking forward to getting some land from the government, and it's looking very positive. And we will do that where we can be able to afford houses to people who are making $400, $600, $500 a month. If you can pay $150, anyway, Mr. Davis, the LBDI will talk to you more about that. But we're trying to create this environment where Liberia can be changed in terms of the housing industry. That's our mission.
Madam President, Doyen of the Cabinet, Honorable Cooper, members of the Cabinet, all well-wishers, it gives me great pleasure to extend my welcome on behalf of the city of Painesville and say that we're most grateful for this investment in our community. Today, we are celebrating more than just a grand opening of Premier Estates. We are celebrating families. Thanks to Premier Developers, a bona fide Liberian-owned company, for playing their role by providing premium residential housing in the city of Painesville.
This is truly a dream come true. I say that because when a few of us lived in Abidjan, in exile, Floyd was a real estate person in Côte d'Ivoire. He had houses there, and we kept saying, oh, we hope the time will come when we can go back home and Floyd can bring his talents and his expertise, his resources to do the same thing he's doing in Abidjan. He can do it in Liberia. So for us, Floyd, it's finally happened. What we see is an example of what it takes to build a country. It is more than government. It's initiative by citizens themselves, being willing not only to invest themselves, but to come together in a manner in which they've accomplished is, first of all, bringing Liberian talent and expertise together into a group to be able to make this investment, and then bringing other young Liberians to be able to train them and give them the responsibility to do the work, thereby enhancing their ability to do more besides earning an income. We must all see this as something that each of us can do. I want to commend you, Floyd. We have too many Liberians, our dear compatriots who come from abroad to make money here to buy homes in the United States. I can see some people feeling uncomfortable. So it's to me a great thing when we see someone come from the United States and build houses here. And so we want to commend this initiative. I mean, I'm so pleased to see this. I'm glad that he's going to expand. He's going to improve this particular facility and then move into other areas to be able to do the same. Hope we will applaud this great effort on the part of Liberians who have introduced a whole new dimension to development, to partnership with the government, to responding to the needs of the people. So let me see some good headlines that praises him, that put in some great pictures in your center spread, so that this will serve as an encouragement to others who can follow this example. And thank all of you for being here. I told Floyd that perhaps he didn't advertise enough. We should have had more people, more government people, more private people here to see the example of what can be done when there's a commitment, when there's creativity, and when somebody has a goal and a dream and they make it come true. Thank you.
This project, first of all, was put together by a 100% Liberian team. We see so many other people dominating in our economy in ways that we too realize we must be a major part of our own economy. And so we came together and tried to do this major project. When this project is done, it'll probably run between 12 to 15 million dollars when it's done. And this is the first project. We're looking at really alleviating the housing problem in this country. There's a 25 acres property here, and it's all going to be developed into like 80 to 90 houses when it's done. We just started. We got like 9 going, so we got a long way to go. We got an all Liberian workforce. We've trained. Everything you see here was done by a 100% Liberian team. And we're very committed to getting our foot into the helping to solve the housing problem in Liberia. Housing is a key thing in economic development anywhere in the world. Housing is the biggest asset anybody can own. And when you own that asset, it can work for you in so many other ways too. So every economy, the American economy, the British economy, the Japanese economy, when you talk about resuscitating the economy, you talk about housing, you talk about construction. And that's something that we have been lacking here. Private foreigners build their rental properties and things. That's really not where you're creating ownership for, every Liberian who has the means, to get it. That way you're making a bigger impact on the economy. And so we looked at it that way as our Liberians. We said we have to do something major, in this area. We have the expertise in it. And so this is the first project, and we hope we can do 3 over the next 15 years.
And don't be no drag. You liven up yourself. Oh, reggae is an automat. You liven up yourself and don't say no. You're gonna liven up yourself. 'Cause I said so. You what you gonna do? You rock so, you rock so.
The vision came about when, after the war, the destruction in the country, when you see how our country was destroyed, we needed to rebuild. And so some of us who realized that, except we took the mantle to do the rebuilding, government can't do everything. And government can create the enabling environment, but you, the Liberians, you, the citizens, you have to recognize the opportunity, and you got to get out there and seize it. Nobody is supposed to empower you. You empower yourself. By virtue of being a Liberian citizen, you have the power to do anything you want to do. And nobody's standing in your way, to stop you or whatever. So, and as long as you continue down that path, people will support you. There are very strong Liberians who believe in the Liberianization program. The government as well believes very much in that. And as you go along, implementing your project, major development like this, all we've gotten is, commendation for this. It's taking a long time to get this because Ebola slowed us down last year. We should have been here by now last year. Everything slowed down. There's been a hit to us in terms of, the project. But, we're happy to say that with God behind us and a strong, dedicated workforce and people who believe in what we're doing, and finally, too, got some banking institutions that actually believe, because they see how we deliver. Well, we are all Liberians, and we have, from any point in time, we have between 45 to 70 Liberians working at any point in time. You know, when there's a lot of heavy work, then many buildings going, then you got to have some, you know, seasonal. But the permanent staff is about 45. You know, we have masoners, we have carpenters, we have, you know, plumbers, we have. Well, I would say you can see from the quality of the product, you know, that they do pretty good. If you train a Liberian and tell him exactly what he needs to do and why he needs to do it this way, and he accepts it, which is what is happening here, they'll do it. So the structures vary. These houses sell from the low end of going around 150 to as much as somebody may want. $150,000 and up. You cannot build a house in this country, a decent house in this country, for less than $100,000. This is high income. This is middle to high income. That's why it's only 80. We are now securing 200 acres. This is just 25. 200 acres where we're going for the houses that are 30,000, 25,000, 40,000. Somebody working with, somebody making $300, $400 a month can pay $125 a month for 20 years. They can own that house because that's where the real market is. And those houses will run about 1,000, 1,500 of those houses, you know, on that 200 acres. In the contracts, we have very good lawyers who have, you know, this is not a new thing to the world. So if someone dies, they have the estate takes it over, and the estate is responsible for continuing the payments to the bank. The bank respects that. You know, as long as, you know, someone comes up and takes over, which the man will or whatever says it is, that's not an issue. Well, again, as far as we are concerned, if a minister wants to buy a house, that's a private purchase. And not a government minister purchase. So he's treated as a private.
Do you have any regrets or any kind of?
Well, let me get this one first. Decentralizing is something we have in our sights, but you know, as the country, as different areas of the country is ready for that kind of thing, you know, then we move into those areas. Yeah, so it has to be economically driven, you know.
Okay, so do you have any fear or any challenge?
Well, our final message is that to Liberians, a lot of people were surprised to see that Liberians can do this. Well, you know, we're very smart people. We're very determined people. And I just want to encourage many other Liberians who got that will and that tenacity. When doors close, you pass around, open another one. You sit there, you don't take no for an answer. And doors will open for you and you'll be able to achieve your dreams. Don't give up. It's hard. If this was easy to do, you will see plenty of them around here. So Liberians, I would say to them who got that dream and got that drive, don't let it get lost. Go after it because you have to be consistent, persistent. The first thought of this thing was started in 2007. Where are we today? 2015. A big dream takes time. And you gotta be resilient. You gotta keep it going. But we know most of us want quick business, quick dollar. No. Major things are not done that way. An impact on your country is not done that way. You have to be able to understand that there is a long-term effect of what you can. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
All the women, calling every single brother. All right, woman, let us unite. Mamas, come and save your child. Baby earth is reeling and wailing and needs your tender embrace. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's eyes. Ooh, come save your child. Come save your child. I said come sisters, come and take back your child. This crazy world is breaking and burning and needs your strength right away. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's guides.
I remain optimistic that that Liberia will rise again.
Free education.
Oh yes, you see, the government does not forget us, poor or rich. Ghana.
illiteracy and say welcome to literacy. Oh. Free education is not a privilege, but it's for you.
Welcome back. How's the trip?
Thank you. Very nice day.
Trip was okay?
A little bit, shiny.
Rain last night, now the sun is shining.
Some motorcycles in the warehouse. Hundreds of motorcycles.
You did a good job.
Come sisters, come and take back your child. This crazy world is breaking and burning.
So in the first phase, please remain where you are while the President, the Ambassador, officials of both governments view the donated artworks. It's time for exhibition. Thank you.
Come and save your child. Baby, earth is breathing and breathing, and needs your tender embrace. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's eyes. Come save your child. Come save your child. Come sisters, come and take back your child. This crazy world is breaking and burning, and needs your strength right away. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's guides. Take back your child. Take back your child. There is no place to run, so you must take away their guns and teach them right from wrong, and that love can conquer all.
help has arrived in Ebola-hit Liberia. About 160 Chinese health workers are now on the ground to build and run a new Ebola clinic. China has been under fire for not contributing more to fight the virus, but it said this week it would send 1,000 personnel. Chinese ambassador Zhang Yuwei says this first batch of medical teams consist of doctors, nurses, and logistics people.
And this is the immediate response of the Chinese government to help Liberian people to fight against Ebola.
Upon arrival, the health workers had their temperatures taken and were made to wash their hands, a ritual adopted across this region to stem the virus. Liberian Foreign Minister Augustine Gafuan says he's grateful for China's help.
I remain optimistic that Liberia will rise again.
I want Liberian Rooster, wonderful players. I want Liberian Rooster, got wonderful players. I want Liberian people, we choose success. I want Liberian people, we choose success.
Hey Fit Stars, it's another Fitness Fit Star Friday. I'm coming to you from MONROVIA, Liberia. And yes, look at me, I'm in a nice gym. Probably one of the best gyms I've seen in my whole trip in West Africa. I'm here, it's called Body Zone. It's one of the best gyms. It's only been open for about 3 months. Wherever you play, wherever you go. The Liberian people, we choose victory, victory, victory. As you guys know, I always try to go to the area where you can just do some free weights and some free stand exercise.
Victory looks like a first victory. 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 Kaya pepe, 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 kaya pepe.
Liberian golden boys, hey yeah. Liberian golden boys, hey yeah. Liberian yellow boys, hey yeah. Liberian darling club, hey yeah. Liberian golden boys, hey yeah. Liberian yellow boys, hey yeah. For me,
I remain optimistic that that Liberia will rise again.
Some of you are very unreasonable. What 23 presidents could not do within 158 years of the presidency, that's what you want President SIRLEAF to do within the 12 years of her presidency. That's not fair. The end to all the lies from MONROVIA.